Konnichiwa, and welcome to Top 10 Reasons Why I Am Not Going to Be Going with MacBook Pro in the future. Now, disclaimer, if you like Apple, and you've been using Apple for a very long time, that is the system you work with, great. I am not going to take that away from you. You continue doing you. But if you're looking to get into Apple, here's a list of why I don't think you should. But first, we're going to bring up good points about MacBook Pros and what I actually do like about them. Number one, the screen quality is quite nice. I will give it that. It is bright, it is very well displayed, it is good. Number two, Apple is one of the only companies that actually puts good speakers in their MacBooks. Most laptops I have used have subpar to barely par speakers. They're not very good in most of the case. I'd like to see that changed in the future, but I don't think it will. I think the majority of what we're going to be seeing is really just get yourself a good little soundbar. Sony has great soundbars that can be paired with basically any laptop now with Bluetooth, so not an issue. Number three, I love that MacBooks charge via USB-C. I think that is wonderful. I think it's convenient. I will say it time and time again. Proprietary laptop chargers are no bueno. They are not fun. They are not pro-consumer. They're not nice in any way. I get that the old days, that's just what it was. But when Apple does it, Chromebook does it, Windows Surface laptops can do it, it's to a point. Let's just make that a standard. Let's quit this whole proprietary cable nonsense. Number four, Magic Mouse. It is a very good mouse for any Apple computer. I do think it is good. Number five, it does pair well with iPhone. It doesn't really have any issues. Connecting it with iPhone is very simple. Number six, battery life is really good. I will give that to Apple. It is really nice. And I think it is a very welcome inclusion that it does have a good battery life. Alright, so that is my list of nice things I can say about Apple that really is just universal all around. Okay, so number one, we're going back to a couple things that contradict themselves. The Magic Mouse. I know I say this is a good mouse, and it is, but if you try pairing this with a PC, it is annoying. You need separate software always around. It can't just connect and go. It's that you have to tell it to go. I didn't like trying this on my Windows 10. I don't even remember if my Chromebook even recognized it. It's just annoying. That's all I'm going to say. And one of the reasons I don't care for the Magic Mouse is the trackpad is so terrible on Apple. I try and do photo editing on Capture One Pro or even in Final Cut, and without the Magic Mouse, I can't get anything done. I can't. It's not something that I feel like I can get any work done. It doesn't register my clicks. It doesn't want to do anything. It doesn't want to obey simple touch commands. Apple's trackpad is not good for a lot of things. Sure, for surfing the web, the little two-finger scroll, no big deal. It works fairly well, but as an overall mouse, it's just terrible. All right, next. Connection with Android devices. Although it connects well with iPhone, which is to be given, it doesn't even want to recognize Android. And it's like, I get it. that it's not going to have features for Android. But why is it that I can't pull off photos or videos that I record on an Android phone and just take the MP3, MP4, the JPEGs, the HEIF files, and even some phones are doing RAW now. So it's like, why? Why can't I just pull it off? Just recognize it. What is going on, Apple? Play well with others. Like, Chromebook plays well with Windows and Android and even iPhone. And Windows doesn't care what you plug into it. It'll find ways to work well with others too. So why is it Apple that can't play well with others? I like Android. I do not like iPhone. I am not going to go iPhone just because Apple wants me to. Okay, next. OS X and its scarce software. Over the years, Apple has gotten a lot more software, and that is true. But compared to PC, it is microscopic. And I get it. The base software that you get in an Apple is pretty good. GarageBand's really good. If all you want is music, then yeah, go for it. It's fine. But I feel like anything Apple can give me, I can get on PC. Photo and video editing software, sound editing software. I can get everything with Adobe. I can get it through Vegas, DaVinci, Capture One. There's so many options. But when it comes to Apple, like, I wanted to put my Vegas Pro software on there. Nope. PC only. Apple won't even recognize it. Same with gaming. Gaming on an Apple is still a joke, so it's not even worth looking at in that context. And yeah, it's like the hardware specs can kind of do it, but at the same time, it's not worth it. All right, number 4, and this kind of ties into number 3. Photo and video editing software is not limited to Apple only like it used to be. I will admit, in the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s, Apple has always had the photo and video editing on their side. And that is true. But at the same time, that's completely changed with PC and the fact that Apple used Intel for so long. And the M1 chip is nice, but after seeing the new Vaio and overhauling the Intel i7 like they are, I have no reason to care about the M1 chip. Which comes to number 5. And this is a biggie for me. There are no ports on the MacBook. You get 2 ports on the standard MacBook Pro that came out. And then the newer MacBook Pro, they gave you 4. 2 on each side. And they're not just ports, they're USB-Cs, which are good ports, but most things don't take USB-C. If you look at flash drives and hard drives for the longest time, they're going to be... You don't want to focus? Okay. Well, they're going to be USB-A. And you can't plug those in directly, and that's annoying. And sure, you can get flash drives that have it, but let's say you have a mountain of old drives. You would have to pick up an adapter of sorts. And most of these adapters, like this one here, are cheap pieces of junk. They barely work. Like, one of the ports may work on it, but like, when I try and plug in my solid state and a hard drive to utilize data or to do multiple things at the same time, only one of them is recognized. It's a pain. It really is. Like, give me some real ports. This is the Vaio SX12. It's a little bit old now. I love it though. But it gives you 3 USB-As, a USB-C, an HDMI, an Ethernet port, a VGA, and an SD card slot. Yeah, an SD card slot. You know, that thing that Apple claims that, oh, we're all for content creators, but we don't have an SD card slot built in. Why? It's the smallest thing you could put in there. It's not that big of a deal. Just have an SD card slot. Come on, quit, just work with me, Apple. Next, and this is a big one. This is why I really have frustrating ever thinking about buying one. The internal storage. It is a joke what they give you. This is the base model MacBook Pro. It gives you a whopping 256 gigs. That is nothing. When you are recording 4K, when you have a Sony A7R4 that is 61 megapixels, 10 shots is a gig with those RAWs. Yeah, so 256 is nothing. And then when you want to bump up all that, it's like saying, hey, give us triple what we originally asked. So that $700 MacBook, or in this case, $1,200, now just became $2,700 or $3,400. Like, why? Why does storage have to cost that much? It's storage. It's hard. It's nothing. Which brings us to the next point. Number 7. Windows and Apple cross-storage drives. So if you want to have the same files across both of these, you're going to have to reformat your drives to fit a very specific storage type, because Apple doesn't like reading the other things like Windows and Chrome does. And again, this is why can't Apple play well with others? This isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about simplicity. Just let me have this. Just make this simple. I don't want to have to do a juggling routine of getting one more drive, putting all the data on that new drive, reformatting that old drive, just so they can talk to each other. Work with me, Apple. Alright, next. Apple's keyboards are terrible. I'm just going to say it. The butterfly keyboard, I hate how thin pressed they are. I hate the feeling of them. They don't register like I'd like them to. It doesn't feel like a real keyboard. And on top of that, we're going to go to number 9 as well. Webcam. The webcam they put on these is a joke. It's like 360 resolution. It is awful. It is just terrible. Like, why is it smartphones gonna have a better web experience than an actual laptop? Apple, come on. And last but not least, number 10, the Apple ecosystem. The Apple ecosystem is just the worst. I don't want to have to only have Apple products to make the most of it. Let me just have things across the board the way I want them to. That's all I'm asking. Give me options. Don't make me a slave to your brand. And with that, that's why I'm not ever going back to Apple. They're not worth it. Thank you.